But Mitch McConnell might need a miracle, or 3 or 5 or 15, because there is also growing criticism from, say, insurance providers worried about cost, and a number of governors worried about Medicaid. So what is going to happen next? Joining me now, a member of the House Freedom Caucus, Florida Congressman Ron DeSantis. What happens? Because the Republicans in the Senate can't get their act together.
Well, it's frustrating. We've spent how many election cycles since 2010 saying, put us in office, we'll repeal and replace Obamacare, and yet here they are, and a lot of them, at the end of the day, some of the senators that have these concerns, they don't want to repeal Obamacare even though they had campaigned on it.
So does that hurt them, though, when they come up for re-election? Because you have Heller in Nevada. He's very concerned because he's up for re-election next year. But is it going to hurt them? Because what is happening is the plan as it stands now, they're not rolling back the tax increases in Obamacare. They're taking that money and spending it on, well, as we were discussing, welfare for the able-bodied.
And these senators, though, still say that it's repealing too much, even with keeping those Obamacare tax increases.
So they're getting what they want, and they're not going to get on board with it now and even move this this proposal to debate in the Senate. Is that really what is going to happen?
I don't know if it will happen, but it shouldn't happen. At the end of the day, even if you have concerns about the bill, we as a country have to debate this. This has been the #1 domestic issue that we've had in how many campaigns lately. So you have to debate it. If you disagree with it, offer an amendment. If I were in the Senate, I'd be offering an amendment to roll back the tax increases, to do some of those other things. Some of the liberal Republicans may be offering different amendments. That's the way the legislative process works. But just take your ball and go home, I think it's a big mistake.
Well, because if the Senate doesn't move on this, then it hurts you, too, when you're up for re-election. It hurts every Republican, potentially, if something doesn't get done. So it's in their court now, but ultimately it hurts anybody who ran on this.
I think so, but I think particularly with these senators, I just think it makes them look like a laughingstock. You had campaigned on it. You're not doing it. The House, you know, our bill was flawed, but we moved the ball forward. Senate to not even be able to get anything out of there, I think would just be a huge, huge disappointment.
Would any help out of the White House? Would President Trump actually getting on the phone at this point and doing more than he already has done to try and really bear down on these Republican senators? Would that help at this point?
It could, but it's not on the president. It's on the senators to just honor their promises and to deliver for the American people. So maybe the president does that. But honestly, like, these guys should just be willing to move the ball forward now. The fact that they're not, I think, is just a lot of cause for concern.
But even some of the, say, the Ted Cruz amendment that would let health insurance providers sell very bare bones plans if they also sold plans that were compliant with the Affordable Care Act. You had the 2 major health insurance organizations come out and say, we don't like this. It's going to basically fail because it's going to drive healthy people out of the Affordable Care Act plans, and it will raise costs for people who have pre-existing conditions, who have a lot of health problems.
Well, they lobbied for Obamacare, these health insurance companies. The reason why they don't like it is because it opens up the market to more competition. So they like Obamacare because there are barriers to entry. It's very difficult to offer other plans. That's why you see the market in most of these counties, you have 1 insurer as an option. Some you have 2. There are very few counties anymore where you have 6, 7, 8, 10 insurance options. So they want to have a big government system that basically guarantees them business. You do a consumer freedom amendment, then all of a sudden the consumer has more power, and that's what the insurance companies don't like. So I think their criticism of the Cruz amendment shows why we need the Cruz amendment.